Olá, eu sou Márcia Maquidice, sou médica com formação em VBHC e em transformação do sistema de saúde e sócia fundadora da Academia VBHC. A ideia deste canal é disponibilizar conteúdos que provoquem uma reflexão sobre os conceitos e os desafios relacionados à transformação do sistema de saúde direcionada por Valor. E para começar esta série, temos a honra de ter conosco ninguém menos que o professor Muir Gray, médico e autor de vários livros sobre valor em saúde que trazem uma visão de VBHC no contexto de saúde populacional, especialmente voltada aos sistemas que oferecem cobertura universal de saúde, como é o caso do Brasil e do Reino Unido. Um dos seus livros mais impactantes é este, How to Get Better Value in Healthcare, que foi lançado inicialmente em 2007 e que encontra-se atualmente na sua terceira edição, e que em breve será lançado no Brasil com o título Como Otimizar o Valor em Saúde, em parceria com a Academia VBHC. Suas inúmeras contribuições ao Sistema Nacional de Saúde, o NHS, o levaram a ser nomeado Sir, honraria conferida pela Rainha da Inglaterra em 2005. Muir tem enfatizado o conceito de stewardship na saúde. Stewardship engloba um conceito que não encontra tradução em uma única palavra em português. O conceito se refere a zelar pelos bens de outrem. Por isso, no glossário da Academia VBHC, que vocês poderão acessar no nosso website, www.academiavbhc.org, optamos por manter o termo em inglês. Muir, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and for this partnership with the Academia. Could you please tell us more about this concept of stewardship?
Well, let me go back to 1989 when we published a leader in the British Medical Journal called Greening the NHS. And the word greening was used quite widely then about environmental impact. And I've always been very interested in the natural environment. And in the 1990s, partly as a result of The Silent Spring by Rachel Carson, interest was growing not only in the size of the problem, but in what we could do about it, and the need for a cultural change. And that cultural change was called, I think for the first time in 1996, stewardship. But the word stewardship goes back long, long before that to the Bible. The good steward, in English, is someone who gives his master back, the lord of the manor, gives him back more than he invested. He leaves the land in better condition than he finds it. And stewardship started to emerge as a concept, and it was partly about being concerned about the environment, but then it became defined about 2000 as holding something in trust you do not own for future generations. Now, the word stewardship wasn't used very much in healthcare for the next 10 years, and we started using it in better value healthcare, partly because we could appeal to people about the environmental impact of what they were doing, and we found that doctors and nurses were much more motivated by an appeal to reduce the carbon footprint of the NHS than by appeals to save money. They did not like appeals to save money. They thought that would go to someone who was less efficient than they were. So we started using stewardship. We started thinking in different ways. And really, the word comes, its modern life comes from a woman called Elinor Ostrom. And she was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize for Economics in 2008. And she studied fisher people, she studied shepherds grazing, mostly in Europe and North America. And she found that if you want to preserve a common wealth, like grazing land or fish stocks, you didn't privatize it or get the government in or get a management consulting company in. It was the people who were using the resource, they had to take responsibility. And she said they became the stewards. She also picked up something first described near Oxford in 1833 what was called the tragedy of the commons. If every shepherd just puts on one more sheep a year and doesn't really notice a difference, there will come a point when the whole grazing land will be destroyed. Now, the importance of this for healthcare is that we can see that even if we're doing things more efficiently, even if we're doing things of higher quality, if we just keep using resources more and more and more, there will come a point when universal healthcare is unsustainable. And Brazil is committed to universal healthcare, so we need to give the medical profession and the nursing professions responsibility to become the stewards of the health service. So that's a brief history of the term stewardship and how it's been applied in the healthcare. Most recently, it's been applied in Latin America, South America, in the idea of antimicrobial stewardship, about the use of antibiotics. We must all be stewards of this precious, common, pooled resource called antibiotics, or future generations will curse us.
That's great, Muir. Thank you so much. Como vocês puderam perceber, o conceito de stewardship na saúde demanda de todos nós uma nova cultura, na qual, como profissionais da saúde, assumimos a nossa responsabilidade pelo uso dos recursos. Cada vez que nós solicitamos um exame ou indicamos um tratamento, em última análise, nós estamos fazendo gestão de recursos. E para isso é necessário que se exercite a questão da pertinência do cuidado, que é oferecer ao paciente certo, o tratamento certo, no momento certo. E dessa forma, a gente não vai ficar dependendo apenas de regras externas ou protocolos definidos muitas vezes pela gestão do serviço de saúde, e sim, nós iremos trazer os profissionais de saúde com essa nova mentalidade que o professor Muir citou, que é de sermos verdadeiros guardiões dos recursos disponíveis. Essa será a nossa maior contribuição como profissionais de saúde para a sustentabilidade do setor de saúde, não apenas público, mas também privado.